I just had a look at the bottom of the deck. We've got the Ace of Cups coming up there as well. There's a kind of push-pull energy going on here. It's almost like you want to go charging in and you want to do something new. And it feels like that, right? With the sun coming up as your underlying energy, this is it. You're starting to see the potential now. You want to give birth to something new. The sun is, yes, it's a beautiful energy. And it's the potential for great happiness. We see how we can cultivate this, how we can grow this, how we can begin something new. This is new projects. I always feel it's very similar to the Empress for me in that it is about new beginnings for me, the sun. It's what we give life to. Because think about it. In our solar system, the sun is what gives life to everything. And you are the sun in the solar system of your life. Never forget that when the sun comes up in your reading. So whatever you shine your light on, you're going to grow that. This is something that you're going to have that new beginning in. Amazing energy to get as your underlying for the week. So use that well. But the sun also talks about seeing everything clearly. Seeing everything clearly, because think about it, it's not nighttime, it's daytime. It's like noon and you're out in your garden and the sun is high in the sky. You can see everything. Every blade of grass, everything becomes apparent to you. Now, that's where it kind of gets a bit sticky for some people with the sun, because you can see everything clearly. But think about it. If someone comes in your house and turns all the lights on, some people are going to focus on, wow, there's so much room here and I can do this. And other people are going to look at, oh my God, there's dust in the corners. I forgot to clean that. You might have to clear out the dust to get to the potential of the happiness. But the sun shows us everything clearly, everything. So that's amazing energy to have. There's clarity coming in this week with that. At the heart of it, though, you're being asked, well, where are you going to take this? What are you going to do with this? The Three of Wands, it's we're waiting for our ships to come in, yes. But this person knows, you know what to expect. There are never any surprises. Never any surprises. Now, I want you to remember that, because that's a theme that's coming up in this reading about everything's clear, the writings on the wall, saying it how it is. That's what this week feels like. If you're dealing with a Capricorn, and a lot of people are used to Capricorns not saying much, they might surprise you this week with what they have to say. Oh, we need to have a conversation, or we need to talk. Three of Wands is very much about, what are you expecting back? From whatever your inspiration was, whatever you've been trying to give life to, whatever it is, it's where are you going to take it? When you hear what you want to hear, if you're waiting for news from, could be overseas, this guy's always looking out over the water at the boat. But whatever it is, what are you planning to do next? Now, for some of you, I'm going to say this. Why are you rethinking everything at the last minute? Because you've already been planning something for a very long time. We have this as your past. We have this as your foundation. And the Three of Coins, Three of Pentacles is all about building something. It can be compromise. It can be working with other people, even though there's one guy here. And there's this story. I don't remember where I read this, but it's probably one of the tarot books that I've got or something. But there's this story of someone was walking down a road and there's two guys cutting stones to build a cathedral. And he went up to the first guy and he said, oh, what are you doing? And the guy said, I'm cutting stones. He went up to the second guy. He's doing exactly the same thing. He said, what are you doing? The guy said, I'm building a cathedral. Now, that's very different. There's a very slight difference there. One's focused on just, oh, this is my job, I'm cutting the stones. The other one sees the greater purpose of what he's doing. And that's the difference here, guys. You might have been very focused on, cutting the stones, putting in the work, whatever it was, relationship, work, whatever it has been. But the focus has been on the future, on what you're trying to create, right? But we have 2 3s here. And those of you that have been following me for a while, I do not automatically think 3s are a third-party situation. And even if it's a third-party situation, it does not have to be someone cheating on someone. That's not what it shows to me. When I see 3s like this, 3, 5, 7, these are all cards of change. And so this might be, okay, well, I've had initially been putting some effort in. Where are we going to take this? How do we grow this? What's the plan for the future? And it's about action. And here it's about practical stuff. Not just, you know, talk is cheap. That's gone with these kind of energies coming up. This is what are we going to do? What's the next step? How do I grow this? There's no wait and see. Even with the Three of Wands, he knows what to do when that cargo comes in. There's never a wait and see energy. No one just sits around twiddling their thumbs, especially not with my readings. Now, I'm going to say this to you guys. The next step, how you progress this, how you further this, you know, whether, and it might be, I mean, let's just talk about the threes, right? Third party stuff. It sometimes might be that the third party is that you want to focus on work, but you're neglecting your family and stuff. You know, that's a third thing. Then you have things that you're having to juggle or having to deal with. So remember that whenever you get threes, it doesn't have to just be a third person coming in or something. It might be that you have a lot of options. That's why you're having to plan. What am I going to use? What's the right skill set here? What's the right action needed? You know, do I want to go in this direction or that? It's very much about that. It's very physical energy I always see with the threes, what we're physically going to be doing to build it. Now, where that goes is the Knight of Swords. So air energy coming in, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Doesn't have to be. They don't own the cards, right? The signs just lend their energies here. And I kind of feel for you, this is about speaking up about whatever it is that you see, whatever this potential. There's so much potential in this. Where are we going? What are we doing? Where is this building up to? And it kind of feels like this is where we stop and have a conversation about it. We stop and talk about this. Now, the Knight of Swords is, I mean, I love the Knight of Swords. I love all the knights. I think they get a bad reputation. People expect them to be grounded and, you know, polite and have tact like the kings and queens. But they're not kings and queens. They're knights. They're out there in the field. They're out there on missions. They're out there getting the work done. And that's the whole point with the Knight of Swords. What does he do? He goes and fights for his beliefs. So be aware this week if a new truth comes in. If a new truth comes in for you. If you kind of think, well, you know what, I've put all this time and effort into something, but maybe what you hear back, maybe what you get back, it changes your mind and you get a new truth. It will become clearer. This kind of energy, that's clarity. Clarity in communication, clarity in the information that you're giving. But remember this, he comes charging in and he speaks his truth. Now, I want to say this to you guys. I'm reading the Knight of Swords as your energy, as you speaking, whatever it is, whatever you've discovered from this, whatever's been going on, whether it's that relationship, whether it's that job, whether it's your team at work, right? You know something new from this and you're ready to speak it. And the fact that it's the Knight of Swords, I think you may be found to be more direct than you've ever been. Because it's like, no, this is it. This is how the situation is. Because the Knight of Swords is very direct. He doesn't about whose feelings he hurts or does whatever. But there's a few of you and you're dealing with this now. So please don't start thinking it's going to happen or kind of hang your hat on that happening because it's in the present. So you'd be aware of this or you kind of know this already, is that this could be someone who charges in and speaks their truth to you. And you might be waiting for that. Three of Wands. You are waiting for this person to speak the truth. You might have asked them, you know, you've sent a request for information or you've said, I need to know what the hell's happening here. I want clarity in this situation. I want the truth. And it may be unexpected, whatever happens. His energy is very spontaneous energy. He comes out of nowhere and gives this truth. So be aware of this, whether it's you speaking it, whether it's someone else, it just feels like this is a truth that comes out of left field. Like, really? But it clears everything up, guys. You really figure out, and that's where the potential comes in from this, whatever this truth is, whatever this conversation is that needs to be said. Where does that lead? Well, it leads to the Six of Cups. Now, there's a number of ways that we can read this. So Six of Cups is nostalgia, right? It's the past. But have a look at what was in the past. What was in the past? We've got the Three of Coins coming up here, Three of Pentacles. Building something. What were you trying to build? Maybe you got derailed. Maybe you gave up on it, or maybe it didn't go very far, but you started something. And this might be you looking back, you know, wasn't it fun when we were just building it? Now it's kind of taken on that you've lost. I don't know, like, I'll give you an example. I used to be part of a community and I loved it. You know, I was a mod there and I set it up and it was great. But by the end of it, by the end of that time, I enjoy it anymore. I had enjoyed being like, you know, a creator with everyone else, a part of the community, Three of Coins. You kind of get to that place where you're the boss now, or you're the mod, and you're just policing everyone, and, you know, all of this kind of stuff. It just doesn't hold the same, you know, you have a new truth that comes out of it. You see a new path to happiness. And that's kind of what feels like it's happening here. Now, with the Six of Cups, yeah, for other people, you can manifest a brand new future from the past, from an old dream that you had, from, you know, even if it's an old relationship, it's that sense of, I was so happy in that. But, you know, I want to recreate that. I want to have even happier memories in the future. So connecting to that energy. And I'm getting with the Three of Coins. It was, I mean, it's the Three of Coins. So it's not like the Eight of Pentacles, which is where you enjoy putting in the effort for the work. But I think this is more about the people that you were working with, or the plans that you had for the future with other people. So, you know, there's that kind of energy that's coming in. But guys, I can't stress this enough. It comes from your truth. Now, there's another twist in this. I don't know what Capricorns are up to this week. It's twists and turns all over the place. But you'll see them coming. There's no tower moments. There's no surprises here. Remember, you know what to expect. This is literally, you might have planned this forever. Whatever it is. Now it's coming out. Everything comes out this week. That's what it feels like. And so what I want you to be prepared for, this is the twist that kind of comes in, but it's expected. Maybe that's why you've kind of not done this yet, is you have the Two of Swords as your advice. So it's almost as if, say I came to you with my truth and I'm like, okay, guys, that, you know, this is my truth here. And you might turn around and say, all right, that's great, Jay, but what about this? Two truths. We have two truths that go head to head. Now, remember, your truth is your truth and it's valid. It's valid. But I want to give an example. I don't know. Say, let's just go there. If this is like you're talking to an ex or someone, like an old friend, or, you know, an ex, and maybe there was an argument in the past or you guys haven't talked for a while, right? And now you're kind of seeing, well, is there potential for this to go somewhere? And you might have believed that the relationship or the friendship ended because you were lied to, or because the other person did something. And so that's the truth that you're now ready to speak. You're like, well, no, this is what happened. The other person might say, well, yeah, no, that's not actually what happened. I did this because of X, Y, and Z. Both truths are valid, but only one truth can prevail. Only one truth can prevail. So the downside of this kind of energy is, will we get stuck in that, trying to make both truths work? And yeah, the two truths together might develop and become a new truth. It might be a new truth that both of you get. But this can be that kind of warlike energy. It's like conflict, two conflicting truths. It could be inner conflict. I want to remind you, if you get that inner conflict, understand it. You've already put so much effort into something. Remember that. Remember why. Why did you do this? What was the plan here? So this is going to be a change in your perspective. Something that you've been waiting on, something that you've been in limbo. Things have been shifting. Things haven't been moving. And all of a sudden now, you don't just get one truth. You're going to have two truths. And it does help you guys. I mean, the whole thing with the Hanged Man is a change in your perspective. Seeing things from a different perspective, knowing something that you didn't know before, right? And you surrender to that truth. There's no lies here. Everyone's coming at this from their own truth. And that's sometimes the hardest thing about this. It's the hardest aspect of it, when two people have very different truths. It's true for each of them. But sometimes how they can feel is, well, if your truth is not in line with my truth, then you must be calling me a liar. No one's calling anyone a liar here. This is literally, if you guys can get through this, whatever these two truths are, whether it's with your company, you might have thought that, why do they keep passing me over for promotion, right? You kind of have that, and you have the balls now to come up and say, hey, I work so hard. I've got the most clients, or I've got the most sales, or whatever. Why do I not haven't I been up for that promotion? The truth you might find out is, well, we're grooming you for an even bigger position. We want you to head this department. We want you to do that. And it kind of throws you. Do you see what I mean? So, it kind of can throw you, but there is a change in your perspective coming. So be open to that. But the beauty of it is, with the sun here, it clears everything up. It clears everything up. All right, guys, let's get you some oracle cards. This is interesting. You know, with the Six of Cups, I mean, I don't think I fully went into that. Six of Cups can be an old dream that comes back. It can be like before the loss of innocence, when things were easier. You know, we always see this kind of, I don't know if you can see it because I know the camera quality is not the best with the lives, but there's a child on a swing, you know, without a care in the world. And it's almost like that. There's a purge here.